Vlad Dracula. The name alone conjures images of a bloodthirsty vampire count lurking in a Transylvanian castle, of a warlord feasting amid a forest of impaled corpses. For over 5 centuries, Vlad the Impaler has been remembered as a terrifying tyrant who unleashed unspeakable cruelty, the man said to inspire the legend of Dracula himself. Yet behind the gory myth stood a real 15th century prince of Wallachia, at turns courageous and patriotic, but also ruthless, vengeful, and shrouded in dark legend. He lived in an age of ceaseless war between Christian kingdoms and the Ottoman Empire, rising from exile to become a defender of his land, and earning eternal infamy for the brutal methods he used. Who was Vlad Dracula, really? To find out, we embark on a journey through the dramatic scenes of his life, from his childhood as a hostage in a sultan's court to his bloody reign of terror and the eerie legacy that gave birth to a vampire myth. Welcome to Crash Global. I'm your host, Sophie Laurent. Join me as we uncover the truth behind Vlad the Impaler, the real Dracula. Transylvania, early 15th century, a land of misty Carpathian mountains and feuding kingdoms. The story begins with the birth of a boy named Vlad in 1431 into the noble house of Draculesht. His father, Vlad II, is known as Dracul, meaning dragon, for his knighthood in the secretive Order of the Dragon, sworn to defend Christendom against the invading Ottomans. Thus, the infant inherits the surname Dracula, literally, son of the dragon. An ominous name, since in the local tongue, Dracul also means devil. The boy grows up amid tales of chivalry and crusades, but also looming threats. Wallachia, in modern Romania, lies precariously between the mighty Ottoman Empire to the south and the Hungarian kingdom to the north. It is a principality where alliances shift like shadows and life is cheap. Young Vlad is raised to be a warrior prince in a world of danger. As a child, Vlad is taught the sword, horse, and courtly manners, but he also learns harsh lessons about power. His father, Prince Vlad II Dracul, walks a tightrope of loyalty between Hungary's king and the Ottoman Sultan. By 1442, this balancing act falters. Sultan Mehmed II demands Vlad Dracul's obedience and hostages to ensure it. And so, at age 11, Prince Vlad and his younger brother Radu are handed over to the Turks as political pawns. We see the two boys on a journey down the Danube, eyes wide with fear as they are led into foreign captivity. Behind them, the spires of their homeland fade into memory. Before them looms the gilded palace of the Sultan, and an uncertain fate that will shape Vlad's soul in fire and iron. Ottoman Empire, 1444. Inside the fortress of Edirne. Here, teenage Vlad Dracula survives as a hostage under Sultan Murad's watch. He endures combat drills and whippings by Ottoman guards. While other boys might break, Vlad's hatred only hardens. He learns the art of cruelty from his captors, witnessing impalements and executions as everyday affairs, and he studies his enemies' language and tactics, silently vowing revenge. His younger brother Radu, by contrast, adapts to this life. Radu is charismatic, even befriending the Sultan's son, Mehmed. The Ottomans call Radu the Handsome, and he grows comfortable at court, perhaps even converting to Islam and earning the Sultan's favor. But Vlad remains defiant, a coiled viper waiting for its moment. News from Wallachia soon deepens Vlad's fury. In 1447, his father Vlad Dracul is overthrown and killed by rival boyars with the support of Hungarian warlord John Hunyadi, and Vlad's elder brother is blinded and buried alive. The boy prince, still in Ottoman hands, now bears the weight of vendetta. He is the dragon's son with no family left, only a burning desire to reclaim his father's seat and punish those who betrayed his house. Opportunity comes in 1448. The Ottomans, seeing a chance to destabilize Wallachia, release Vlad and back his claim to the voivode's throne. Under a battle-torn sky, Vlad rides at the head of a Turkish-backed army across the Danube, a dark young prince returning from exile. His heart is torn between two worlds, raised by his enemies, yet sworn to destroy those who destroyed his family. The stage is set for a bloody ascent to power. Wallachia, 1456. After years of struggle and exile, Vlad Dracula seizes the throne of his forefathers in a storm of violence. His first attempt in 1448 had failed within weeks, but now, 8 years later, fate favors Vlad. With Hungary and the Ottomans locked in conflict, Vlad makes his move. He duels his rival, Voivode Vladislav the Sanit, on the battlefield and cuts him down in single combat, reclaiming Targovište, the Wallachian capital. At last, the son of Dracul sits on the high seat of Wallachia. But to hold power, Vlad knows he must tame the treacherous boyars who had murdered his father and brother. The new prince sets a cunning trap. On Easter Sunday, as legend has it, Vlad invites all the prominent boyar families to a grand feast at his palace. The great hall is decked in finery. Tables overflow with roast meat and wine. The boyars arrive in festive dress, relieved that the young prince seemingly extends an olive branch. Vlad raises a goblet in a toast. Then his tone darkens. He calmly asks the assembly a pointed question. How many princes have you survived? The nobles exchange uneasy glances before replying. Some say, we have seen 7 princes. Others whisper, more than 20. Vlad's face twists with disgust. Their answers betray generations of disloyalty. In that instant, he gives a sharp wave of his hand. Armed guards storm the hall to the screams of women and children. The doors slam shut. Boyars are seized by soldiers as Vlad issues his verdict on the old order. Outside the palace, a forest of sharpened wooden stakes awaits. Older boyars, the ones deemed most guilty of past betrayals, are impaled alive then and there, their fine Easter garments drenched in blood as they are hoisted onto spikes. Younger nobles and their families are spared immediate death, only to face a living nightmare. Vlad forces them on a march from Targovište to a remote mountain redoubt. There, he orders them to build him a mighty new fortress high atop Poenari Cliff. These once proud nobles stumble under brutal labor. Their holiday finery turn to rags as they toil until many collapse and die. By the time Poenari Castle's walls rise, hardly any builder remains alive. Vlad has avenged his father and purged the boyar class in one savage sweep. The message is clear. Wallachia's throne is now drenched in blood, and Vlad Dracula rules unopposed through fear. The Impaler Prince has earned his name, and his reign of terror is only beginning. Vlad III. Dracula's rule becomes a grim tableau of horror. But beneath the brutality lies a twisted vision of justice and order. In the towns and villages of Wallachia, people whisper that Vlad's iron fist has made the land safe so long as one obeys his brutal laws. By Vlad's decree, any thirsty traveler may drink from an ornate golden goblet at a public well in Targovište, yet none dare steal it. The cup remains untouched by thieves, a silent testament to the prince's terrifying code of law. Dishonesty and crime are punished by death on the stake. Under Vlad's watch, it is said, a peasant could walk the roads laden with gold and come to no harm. But woe to the unlucky pickpocket or corrupt official who tests Vlad's justice. No one, high or low, is exempt from the Impaler's wrath. When Ottoman envoys arrive at Vlad's court in 1459 to demand overdue tribute, they refuse to remove their turbans in the prince's presence, citing their custom. Vlad Dracula smiles thinly at this insult. He honors their custom, he says, by ordering the envoys' turbans nailed to their skulls. Guards hammer long spikes through cloth and flesh, and the envoys are sent back to the Sultan bleeding and forever wearing their headdresses. Vlad's message is unmistakable. He bows to no foreign power. On another occasion, Vlad decides to cleanse his domain of what he deems undesirables. He invites all the sick, the poor, and the beggars of Wallachia to a great banquet, promising a night of feasting. Hundreds come to Vlad's palace hall and gorge on meat and wine at the prince's expense. Then, at the feast's end, Vlad has the doors barred from outside. His soldiers set the hall ablaze, burning every soul inside alive. Vlad watches the inferno and coldly declares, I have rid my country of the worthless. In his perverse logic, he has solved poverty and disease in one stroke of fire. Stories of Vlad's sadistic creativity spread like dark wildfire. In Transylvania, the Saxon merchants who support Vlad's rivals feel his fury. In 1459, when German Saxon towns defy him, Vlad launches a bloody raid across the Carpathians. At Brasov, he pillages merchant quarters and rounds up men, women, and children alike. On the hill of Tampa, Outside Brasov, countless Saxon merchants and villagers are impaled in rows. It is reported that Vlad calmly sets up a dining table among the corpses, enjoying a lavish meal while hundreds die around him. Some accounts even claim he soaks his bread in the blood of his victims. These chronicles blur the line between man and monster, painting Vlad as a living inspiration for a vampire. Through such terror, Vlad Țepeș enforces an uneasy peace. The roads are free of bandits, the markets flow with trade, and enemies of the state are put on spikes for all to see. But the price is paralyzing fear. Thousands have died by Vlad's command, and by the early 1460s, his legend spreads far beyond Wallachia's borders. Soon, these whispers draw the attention of his most powerful adversary yet, the Sultan of the Ottomans. 1462, Sultan Mehmed II declares Vlad Dracula an enemy of the Ottoman Empire. Vlad's refusal to pay tribute and his treatment of Ottoman envoys are open rebellion. Over the winter of 1461 to 62, Vlad raids Ottoman territory, torching villages and impaling thousands. He boasts of his kills to the Hungarian king. Mehmed responds by marching into Wallachia with a vast army. Outnumbered, Vlad orders scorched earth tactics. Villages are burned, wells poisoned. On the night of June 16, 1462, Vlad leads a daring attack on the Ottoman camp near Târgoviște. Under cover of darkness, his men sow chaos, shouting in Turkish and blowing bugles. Vlad charges through the camp, aiming to kill Mehmed himself. In the confusion, they strike the wrong tent, killing the Grand Vizier instead. The camp rallies, and Vlad narrowly escapes. Though the assassination fails, Mehmed is shaken. Vlad has struck at the heart of the Ottoman army and lived. Mehmed presses forward, unaware that Vlad has prepared one final horror ahead. Outside Târgoviște, Mehmed II halts in horror. Before him stretches a forest of wooden stakes, bearing thousands of impaled bodies. The stench of decay fills the air. An estimated 20,000 corpses are displayed, including men, women, and children. Some bodies rot under the sun, others drip fresh blood. Hamza Pasha, a high-ranking Ottoman commander, is impaled higher than all others in deliberate humiliation. According to accounts, Mehmed is so struck that he admits no ruler could be easily overthrown who inspires such terror. His troops refuse to advance further. Mehmed orders a retreat, leaving Wallachia devastated but unconquered. However, he installs Vlad's brother, Radu the Handsome, as a puppet ruler. Boyars defect, and Vlad is abandoned. He flees north toward Hungary, unaware that betrayal awaits. In late 1462, Vlad seeks help from King Matthias Corvinus, but is arrested instead. Matthias, having made peace with the Ottomans, produces forged letters portraying Vlad as a traitor. Vlad is imprisoned at Visegrad. Years pass in captivity, as stories of his cruelty spread across Europe. German pamphlets and Russian chronicles turn him into a figure of nightmares. Over time, Vlad adapts. He converts to Catholicism, marries into Matthias's family, and is gradually given more freedom. By the mid-1470s, after 12 years of captivity, political necessity leads to his release. With Hungarian support, Vlad prepares one final return to power. In 1476, Vlad regains the Wallachian throne with Hungarian and Moldavian support. His rule is brief. Basarab Lyota returns with Ottoman backing. In a winter battle, Vlad fights fiercely but is mortally wounded, possibly by his own men who mistake him for a Turk, or by an assassin. His body is found headless. His severed head is sent to Constantinople and displayed as proof of his death. Vlad III. Dracula dies on a frozen battlefield. His body is said to be buried at Snagov Monastery, though no grave is ever confirmed. Vlad's death brings mixed reactions. Some rejoice, others mourn a fierce defender against the Turks. His legend spreads rapidly through pamphlets and chronicles. In Western Europe, he is portrayed as a monster. In Eastern traditions, he appears as a harsh but just ruler. In Romania, Vlad Țepeș remains a complex national figure. His international image, however, becomes dominated by a literary transformation. In the late 19th century, Bram Stoker discovers the name Dracula and uses it for his vampire novel. Though fictional, the association endures. Vlad Dracula and Count Dracula become inseparable in popular imagination. Castles, films, novels, and tourism reinforce the myth. Vlad's historical brutality becomes Gothic horror. In seeking power through terror, Vlad achieves a form of immortality. His life was a saga of blood, vengeance, and defiance. Though long dead, Vlad the Impaler lives on as legend. His story reminds us that sometimes truth is more terrifying than fiction.